The world of One Piece is filled with legendary weapons, each possessing unique characteristics and an aura of power that makes them stand out. Among them, swords hold a special place, wielded by some of the most formidable warriors in the series. From supreme-grade blades to cursed swords and even weapons imbued with supernatural abilities, One Piece has introduced a variety of iconic swords that play crucial roles in battles and lore. This list of the 15 strongest swords in the series showcases weapons that have shaped history, defeated powerful foes, and remain integral to their wielder's strength. The list begins with Soul Solid, a sword wielded by the eccentric yet powerful skeleton musician, Brook. Unlike many traditional blades, Soul Solid is not a famed or graded sword, yet it has its own unique abilities that make it a formidable weapon. Introduced during the Thriller Bark arc, Soul Solid is first seen in action when Brook uses it in his signature fencing-style swordsmanship. When sheathed, the sword appears to be an ordinary cane, doubling as a part of Brook's gentlemanly aesthetic. However, when drawn, it becomes an effective weapon that Brook wields with remarkable speed and precision. Brook's fighting style is heavily influenced by his musical and fencing background. Many of his techniques are named after classical songs and dances, incorporating swift and elegant movements that allow him to strike with incredible accuracy. His skill with the sword, combined with his Yomi Yomi no Mi Devil Fruit ability, makes Soul Solid a truly unique blade. During the time skip, Brook's sword underwent an upgrade. Members of the Long Arm tribe sharpened it, enhancing its cutting ability and making it even more lethal. One of the most intriguing aspects of Soul Solid is its supernatural power, which sets it apart from other blades. Brook learned to infuse his Devil Fruit abilities into his sword, allowing him to summon freezing flames from the underworld. These chilling flames can freeze his enemies upon contact, effectively paralyzing them in place. This technique makes Soul Solid particularly dangerous, as it can incapacitate an opponent with a single strike. This ability was showcased during the Whole Cake Island arc, where Brook used his sword against powerful foes, proving that even though Soul Solid is not a supreme grade or a named great grade blade, it is still a force to be reckoned with. Despite its impressive abilities, Soul Solid has yet to make a significant name for itself in the world of legendary swords. This is primarily because Brook has not had many one-on-one battles where he could fully demonstrate its potential. However, from what has been shown so far, the sword's abilities, combined with Brook's speed and precision, solidify its place among the strongest weapons in One Piece. As we progress through this list, we will encounter blades that have shaped history, been wielded by legendary warriors, and changed the course of battles. Soul Solid serves as a fitting introduction, setting the stage for even greater and more fearsome swords to come. Among the many powerful swords in One Piece, some stand out not only for their raw strength but also for the legends and curses surrounding them. These blades are feared, respected, and often wielded by some of the most dangerous figures in the series. Whether they are known for their cursed nature, mysterious origins, or extraordinary abilities, these weapons play a significant role in shaping battles and destinies. Among them, Kikoku, Ryu, and Napoleon hold unique places in the world of swords, each possessing characteristics that make them deadly in their own right. One of the most recognizable cursed swords in One Piece is Kikoku, wielded by Trafalgar D. Waterloo, the captain of the Heart Pirates. While its specific grade has never been revealed, it is confirmed to be a cursed blade, meaning it carries an ominous presence that makes it particularly difficult to wield. Law, however, appears to have mastered it, seamlessly incorporating it into his fighting style. Kikoku is notably longer than a traditional katana, resembling an adachi, a type of Japanese greatsword. It features a white fur-covered hilt and a purple grip wrapped in white rings, giving it a distinctive appearance. Unlike many swords in One Piece, Kikoku's true power does not come solely from its cutting strength but rather from Law's Devil Fruit abilities. As the user of the Ope no Mi, Law uses Kikoku in conjunction with his Room technique, allowing him to slice through enemies and objects with surgical precision, regardless of their physical durability. Though Law's attacks are largely dependent on his Devil Fruit powers, Kikoku has displayed notable durability and sharpness. For instance, during his fight against Don Quixote Doflamingo, Law was able to block an attack from Doflamingo's razor-sharp strings without using his Devil Fruit, showcasing the sword's own impressive resilience. Its cursed nature may contribute to its effectiveness, but Law's mastery over it is what truly makes it formidable. Another feared sword is Ryu, wielded by Shiryu of the Rain, a former head jailer of Impel Down who later joined the Blackbeard Pirates. Unlike Kikoku, Ryu is classified as a Meito, meaning it is a named sword forged by a master swordsmith. While its exact grade remains unknown, it is clearly a weapon of high quality and destructive potential. Shiryu is a ruthless swordsman who wields Ryu with incredible skill and brutality. Before joining Blackbeard's crew, he was feared for his merciless nature, often executing prisoners for his own amusement. His fighting style emphasizes raw power and speed, and Ryu is the perfect weapon for such a combatant. The sword itself features a black hilt with a red diamond pattern, a fancy handguide, and a half-red, half-white scabbard. One of the most dangerous aspects of Shiryu's fighting style is his Suke no Mi, a devil fruit that grants him complete invisibility. By combining this ability with Ryu, Shiryu becomes an unseen executioner, capable of striking his opponents before they even realize he is there. This makes Ryu particularly lethal, as it is wielded by someone who can bypass enemy defenses with stealth and precision. Unlike Kikoku and Ryu, which are traditionally forged weapons, Napoleon is a completely unique sword created through Big Mom's devil fruit powers. As the user of the Soru no Mi, Big Mom is able to imbue objects with a fragment of her soul, bringing them to life. Napoleon is one of her three homies, alongside Zeus, a living thundercloud, and Prometheus, a living sun. In its dormant state, Napoleon takes the form of a pirate hat, complete with a sentient Jolly Roger face. However, when called upon, Napoleon transforms into a massive sword, which Big Mom wields with devastating force. Unlike traditional swords, Napoleon can shift between multiple forms, including a cutlass, a longsword, a battle axe, and a gladius, making it an incredibly versatile weapon. What makes Napoleon especially powerful is its ability to channel elemental attacks. Big Mom often combines its strikes with Zeus lightning or Prometheus flames, allowing her to unleash fire-enhanced slashes or electrically charged strikes. Additionally, Napoleon is incredibly durable, capable of withstanding attacks from some of the strongest opponents, including Kaido, one of the four emperors. Each of these swords carries its own legacy and power. Kikoku, though reliant on Law's abilities, remains a formidable cursed blade that has yet to fully reveal its potential. Ryu is a sword of pure destruction, wielded by a stealthy and merciless combatant. Meanwhile, Napoleon is an unconventional but extremely powerful sword, demonstrating that a weapon's strength is not solely determined by its craftsmanship but also by the abilities of its wielder. As we continue to explore the strongest swords in One Piece, these weapons set the stage for even more powerful and legendary blades that have shaped the world's greatest battles. Throughout the world of One Piece, certain swords carry tremendous historical weight, not only because of their power but also because of the legacies they represent. These blades have been wielded by some of the most legendary warriors, pirates, and samurai, influencing major events and shaping the course of history. Among these, Shiki's dual swords, Karasha and Oto, and Zoro's renowned Wado Ikimonji stand out as weapons with deep historical importance. These swords are more than just tools for combat, they are symbols of strength, tradition, and legendary warriors who left their mark on the world. Shiki the Golden Lion, one of the most feared and powerful pirates of the previous generation, wielded two legendary swords, Karasha and Oto. Shiki was a dominant force in the era of Gol D. Roger, and his name was spoken in the same breath as Roger and Whitebeard. He was the captain of the Golden Lion Pirates and the first known prisoner to escape from Impel Down, solidifying his reputation as one of the most dangerous men in history. Karasha and Oto were not just ordinary blades, they were an extension of Shiki himself. While most swordsmen hold their swords in their hands, Shiki took an unconventional approach. After losing both of his legs in a daring escape from Impel Down, he attached Karasha and Oto directly to his legs, making them his permanent weapons. This unusual fighting style allowed him to deliver devastating slashes using his feet, demonstrating incredible dexterity and mastery over his swords. In his prime, Shiki was an unstoppable force, wielding these swords alongside his Fuwa no Mi, float fruit, which allowed him to make himself and anything he touched float. Using this ability, he levitated entire fleets and islands, launching them as weapons in battle. Karasha and Oto played a crucial role in his combat style, as he could use them to execute powerful aerial slashes, cutting through enemies and structures effortlessly. Shiki's greatest battle occurred when he challenged Gol D. Roger in the Battle of Edwar, leading an enormous fleet against the Pirate King. Although the battle ended due to a sudden storm, Shiki's swords were at the forefront of his assault, proving their importance in pirate history. Even after his defeat, his legacy lived on, and Karasha and Oto remain testaments to his former glory. Among the many swords wielded by Roronoa Zoro, none hold as much personal and historical significance as Wado Ikimonji. This blade is not just a weapon, it is a symbol of Zoro's promise, ambition, and deep-rooted connection to his past. Wado Ikimonji is one of the 21 great grade swords, meaning it is an exceptionally crafted blade forged by one of the greatest swordsmiths in history, Shimosuke Kozaburo. Unlike many of the other powerful swords in One Piece, Wado Ikimonji is not associated with destruction or a fearsome reputation, but rather with honor, tradition, and the dreams of those who wield it. The sword originally belonged to Kuina, Zoro's childhood rival and close friend. Kuina was the daughter of Koshiro, the master of the dojo where Zoro trained as a child. Despite being the most talented student, Kuina was convinced that she could never become the world's strongest swordsman because she was a girl. Zoro and Kuina made a promise that one of them would achieve that title, but tragedy struck when Kuina suddenly passed away. Devastated, Zoro took up Wado Ikimonji in her honor, vowing to fulfill their shared dream and become the strongest swordsman in the world. Zoro's connection to Wado Ikimonji goes beyond sentiment. He wields it with unmatched skill, often holding it in his mouth as part of his three-sword style, Santoryu. Throughout the series, the blade has withstood countless battles against some of the strongest opponents, proving its durability and craftsmanship. Some of Wado Ikimonji's most notable moments include Zoro vs. Dracula Mihawk. In his battle against the world's strongest swordsman, Mihawk, Wado Ikimonji was the only sword that did not break when struck by Mihawk's legendary Yoru. This moment cemented the sword's legendary durability. Battle against Mr. One, Daz Bones. Zoro achieved the ability to cut steel using Wado Ikimonji, marking a major turning point in his growth as a swordsman. Raid on Onigashima. Zoro used Wado Ikimonji alongside Enma to battle Kaido, showcasing its ability to handle immense amounts of haki and cut through powerful opponents. Beyond its physical power, Wado Ikimonji represents Zoro's unwavering determination, his promise to Kuina, and his goal of surpassing Mihawk. It is one of the most respected and historically significant swords in the world of One Piece, carrying a legacy that spans generations. Both Shiki's Karasha and Oto and Zoro's Wado Ikimonji have played crucial roles in the history of One Piece. Karasha and Oto were wielded by one of the most feared pirates of the old era, whose battles shaped the landscape of the pirate world. Even though Shiki is no longer a dominant force, his legend remains, and his swords are a reminder of his former strength. On the other hand, Wado Ikimonji is a sword that represents tradition, ambition, and personal honor. It is a weapon tied to Zoro's past and future, guiding him toward his ultimate goal of becoming the world's strongest swordsman. Its presence in the series serves as a constant reminder of his promise, reinforcing its historical and emotional significance. As we continue exploring the greatest swords in One Piece, these weapons pave the way for even greater legendary blades, each carrying its own legacy, power, and history. Among the many swords in One Piece, black blades stand out as some of the most powerful and revered weapons in history. Unlike regular swords, black blades are forged through battle and mastery, making them incredibly rare. A black blade is not simply a sword that has been painted black. It undergoes a mystical transformation, gaining immense durability, enhanced cutting power, and an indomitable presence. One of the most significant black blades in the series is Shusui, a sword with deep historical ties to the legendary samurai Ryuma and later wielded by Roronoa Zoro. Its story and legacy play a crucial role in the development of both Zoro as a swordsman and the larger lore of One Piece. Shusui is one of the 21 great grade swords, placing it among the most powerful blades in existence. However, what sets it apart from most swords is the fact that it is a black blade, a status that only a handful of swords in the world have achieved. Shusui was originally wielded by Ryuma, the legendary samurai from the land of Wano. Ryuma was hailed as the sword god, a warrior whose feats became the stuff of legends, and his blade was an extension of his unparalleled skill. Shusui's legend grew due to its role in Wano's history. Ryuma once defended Wano from foreign invaders and, according to legend, slayed a dragon with a single swing of his blade. This act cemented both his status as a national hero and Shusui's reputation as Wano's most treasured weapon. Due to its historical significance, the people of Wano regarded Shusui as a national treasure, a sword that symbolized the country's strength and warrior spirit. However, at some point, Shusui was stolen from Wano, which deeply angered its people. The blade eventually ended up in the hands of the infamous pirate Gecko Moria, who used his devil fruit abilities to reanimate Ryuma's corpse as a zombie and have him wield Shusui in battle. During the Thriller Bark arc, Zoro faced Ryuma's undead form in a battle that tested his skills as a swordsman. In this duel, Zoro was pushed to his limits, but he ultimately emerged victorious, defeating Ryuma and earning Shusui as a reward. Unlike Zoro's previous swords, Shusui was significantly heavier, requiring greater strength and control to wield effectively. From the moment Zoro wielded Shusui, it was clear that the sword was unlike any other blade he had used. Its immense weight and durability made it nearly indestructible, allowing Zoro to block powerful attacks without fear of the blade breaking. Moreover, Shusui increased the destructive power of his swordsmanship, allowing him to cut through massive objects with ease. One of the most notable demonstrations of Shusui's power occurred during the Sabaody Archipelago arc, where Zoro, with a single slash, cut a massive warship in half. This act shocked even his allies and showcased the incredible power that a black blade could grant its wielder. Shusui became an integral part of Zoro's three-sword style, complementing his raw strength and precise techniques. One of the biggest mysteries in One Piece is how a sword becomes a black blade. Unlike other graded swords that are forged with specific properties, black blades are not created but earned through a combination of battle, mastery, and possibly haki infusion. The series has suggested that turning a blade black enhances its grade, making it stronger and more resilient. This means that while Shusui was already a great grade sword, it might have started as a lower grade weapon before becoming a black blade due to Ryuma's immense skill and repeated battles. The only other known black blade in One Piece belongs to Dracul Mihawk, the world's strongest swordsman. His sword, Yoru, is a supreme grade black blade, placing it among the strongest weapons in existence. This further suggests that black blades are the pinnacle of swordsmanship, achieved only by those who have completely mastered their weapon and haki. Zoro, who aspires to surpass Mihawk and become the world's greatest swordsman, has shown great interest in the mystery of black blades. The fact that he wielded Shusui and experienced its power firsthand might be a hint toward his future growth. One day, he may forge his own black blade through relentless battle and mastery. Although Zoro wielded Shusui for a significant part of his journey, his ownership of the sword came to an end during the Wano arc. Upon arriving in Wano, Zoro learned about Shusui's importance to the country's history and culture. He encountered warriors who saw him carrying the sword and immediately viewed him as a thief, demonstrating how much the people of Wano valued Shusui as a national treasure. Zoro ultimately made the difficult decision to return Shusui to Wano, recognizing that some swords belong in their rightful place. In exchange, he was granted Enma, a blade once wielded by the legendary Kazuki Oden. Unlike Shusui, which focused on raw strength and durability, Enma was a sword that required tremendous haki control, further challenging Zoro to refine his swordsmanship. Even though Zoro no longer wields Shusui, his experience with the blade left a lasting impact on his fighting style. The lessons he learned from wielding a black blade, combined with his new training with Enma, have set him on the path to eventually forging his own black blade, possibly surpassing even Shusui in strength. Shusui remains one of the most significant swords in One Piece, not just because of its power but because of its legacy and historical importance. It symbolizes the legend of Ryuma, the strength of Wano, and the potential of black blades. For Zoro, wielding Shusui was a stepping stone in his journey. While he no longer possesses it, the experience of wielding a black blade pushed him closer to his goal of becoming the world's strongest swordsman. The series continues to hint that Zoro may one day turn his own sword into a black blade, possibly with Enma, cementing his place among the greatest warriors in history. As One Piece progresses, The mystery of how black blades are forged remains one of the greatest unanswered questions. However, one thing is certain: black blades are more than just weapons. They are symbols of mastery, perseverance, and the true spirit of the sword, ensuring that their wielders are forever etched into the annals of history. Kazuki Oden, the legendary samurai of Wano, was one of the most powerful swordsmen in One Piece. He wielded two extraordinary swords, Enma and Ame no Habakiri, both of which played a significant role in his life and legacy. These swords were not just weapons, they were symbols of Oden's strength, determination, and rightful claim as the heir of Wano's shogunate. Each blade possessed exceptional qualities, making them some of the greatest weapons ever forged. Ame no Habakiri, translated as Heavenly Serpent Slayer, is one of the 21 great grade swords, crafted by Shimosuke Kozaburo, the same legendary swordsmith who forged Wado Ikimonji. This blade was said to be able to cut through the very heavens, a testament to its incredible sharpness and power. Oden wielded Ame no Habakiri alongside Enma, using both blades to perform devastatingly powerful attacks. One of its most significant feats was during Oden's battle against Kaido, where he managed to wound the seemingly invincible Yonko, leaving Kaido with his infamous X-shaped scar. This showed that Ame no Habakiri, in the right hands, could cut through even the toughest defenses in the world. Following Oden's death, the sword was entrusted to his son, Kazuki Momonosuke, as part of his father's will. However, due to Momonosuke's young age and lack of training, he was unable to wield it properly. The sword was kept safe until the day he could rise as the rightful ruler of Wano and wield it to defend his people. Enma is another great grade sword forged by Kozaburo, and it is known for its uncontrollable thirst for haki. Unlike Ame no Habakiri, which represents the heavens, Enma is said to be able to cut through to the depths of hell, symbolizing its overwhelming offensive power. What makes Enma truly unique is its ability to forcefully extract massive amounts of haki from its wielder. This makes it extremely difficult to control, as it can drain the user's haki to dangerous levels if they are not skilled enough to handle it. Even Oden, who mastered Enma, had to continuously regulate its power to wield it effectively. Enma's power was most notably demonstrated when Oden used it to wound Kaido, proving that it was capable of cutting through one of the toughest creatures in the world. The only other swordsman to achieve this feat was Zoro, who received Enma as a replacement for Shusui after returning it to Wano. Upon wielding Enma, Zoro immediately realized its immense power, as it involuntarily forced out his armament haki, causing his arm to shrink and wither temporarily. However, as he continued training with it, he slowly began to tame the blade. During the raid on Onigashima, Zoro fully unlocked Enma's potential, using it to inflict another major wound on Kaido, just like Oden had done decades before. Together, Ame no Habakiri and Enma represent the duality of Kazuki Oden, one sword symbolizing the heavens and the other the depths of hell. These swords were instrumental in shaping Wano's history and are now in the hands of the next generation of warriors. While Momonosuke is still too young to wield Ame no Habakiri, Zoro continues to harness the power of Enma, setting the stage for an even greater legend to be born. In the world of One Piece, there exists a special category of weapons known as supreme grade swords, the rarest and most powerful blades ever forged. Only 12 swords belong to this category, and they are known for their unparalleled durability, cutting power, and legendary status. Among them, 3 stand out due to their wielders: Yoru, Griffin, and Mirakumo, weapons used by Mihawk, Shanks, and Whitebeard, respectively. Yoru is arguably the most famous sword in One Piece, wielded by Dracul Mihawk, the world's strongest swordsman. It is the only known supreme-grade black blade, making it one of the most powerful weapons ever seen. Yoru is a massive, ornate greatsword with a crucifix-shaped design, reflecting Mihawk's elegant yet deadly style. Unlike most swords, which are transformed into black blades through battle and mastery, Yoru has already achieved its final form, meaning Mihawk has fully honed and perfected its potential. The sword's capabilities were demonstrated when Mihawk, with a single swing, cut an entire warship in half from a distance. Despite its immense size, Mihawk can wield Yoru with astonishing speed and precision, using it for both long-range slashes and delicate defensive maneuvers. This proves that Yoru is not just a powerful weapon, but also a reflection of Mihawk's unparalleled skill. Griffin is the trusted sword of Shanks, one of the 4 emperors. While little is known about its origins, Griffin is undoubtedly one of the strongest swords in the world due to its association with one of the most powerful Haki users in One Piece. Shanks has been seen using Griffin to clash against legendary swordsmen like Mihawk and Whitebeard, proving that it is a blade of the highest caliber. During his battle against Eustace Kid, Shanks demonstrated the sword's terrifying power, defeating Kid and his crew in an instant with a single, Conqueror's Haki-infused attack called Divine Departure. This technique was previously used by Gol D. Roger, suggesting that Griffin may have ties to the Pirate King's era. While its supreme grade status has not been explicitly confirmed, Griffin's strength is evident in the hands of one of the most feared men in the world. Unlike traditional swords, Mirakumo is a massive Naginata, polearm sword, wielded by Edward Newgate, better known as Whitebeard. As one of the 12 supreme grade weapons, Mirakumo was one of the strongest melee weapons ever wielded by a pirate. Whitebeard used this weapon in combination with his Gura Gura no Mi, amplifying its destructive capabilities to an unprecedented level. He could create shockwaves that could split the ocean, shatter islands, and even tilt entire sections of the world. Despite being an elderly warrior, Whitebeard's strength with Mirakumo remained undiminished, as he used it to battle marines, admirals, and even Gol D. Roger himself. Its supreme grade status was evident when it was able to withstand countless battles without breaking, proving its legendary craftsmanship and durability. These weapons stand at the pinnacle of swordsmanship, wielded by the strongest fighters in history. Yoru, Griffin, and Mirakumo are not just tools of battle, they are symbols of power, legacy, and absolute dominance. As One Piece progresses, we may see new supreme grade swords introduced or even existing swords upgraded. With Zoro aiming to become the world's strongest swordsman, he may one day forge his own supreme grade black blade, cementing his place among these legendary warriors. Among the many legendary swords in One Piece, few hold as much mystery and intrigue as the Shodai Kitetsu. As one of the 12 supreme grade swords, it is considered one of the most powerful blades in existence, yet very little is known about it. What makes this sword even more fascinating is its rumored cursed nature and its potential connection to the Kitetsu series, a lineage of swords that have a reputation for bringing misfortune to their wielders. The Kitetsu line of swords consists of 3 well-known cursed blades. Shodai Kitetsu, first generation, a supreme grade sword and the strongest of the Kitetsu swords. Nidai Kitetsu, second generation, a great grade sword, still extremely powerful but not at the level of its predecessor. Sandai Kitetsu, third generation, a lower grade blade compared to the other two but still immensely dangerous. Each Kitetsu blade is said to be cursed, bringing misfortune and even death to its wielder. This reputation has led many swordsmen to fear these swords, yet those who are strong-willed enough to master them can wield incredible power. Zoro, the swordsman of the Straw Hat Pirates, currently wields Sandai Kitetsu, having claimed it after proving his luck by testing the curse in Logetown. The Shodai Kitetsu is believed to be the first and strongest of the Kitetsu swords, crafted by the original swordsmith of the Kitetsu line. Unlike its successors, this sword is a supreme grade blade, placing it among the strongest weapons ever created. Given that Sandai and Nidai Kitetsu are already known for their incredible sharpness and unpredictable nature, Shodai Kitetsu is likely on an entirely different level. The current whereabouts of Shodai Kitetsu remain unknown, but there is strong speculation that it is wielded by one of the 5 elders, the enigmatic rulers of the world government. In the Egghead arc, one of the elders, Saint Ethan Baron v. Nustero, was shown carrying a sword that strongly resembles a Kitetsu blade. If this sword is indeed Shodai Kitetsu, it would confirm that the weapon is still in use and held by one of the most powerful figures in the world. As Zoro continues to grow stronger, it is highly likely that he will encounter Nidai Kitetsu at some point, as it was last seen in possession of Tenguiyama Hitetsu in Wano. If Zoro acquires this blade, it may be a stepping stone toward ultimately wielding the legendary Shodai Kitetsu. Considering that Zoro has already tamed Sandai Kitetsu, he may be the only swordsman capable of wielding the entire Kitetsu line, breaking the curse that surrounds them. If he does end up wielding Shodai Kitetsu, it could become his final and strongest sword, possibly turning into a black blade, further elevating its power. As One Piece moves forward, the mystery of Shodai Kitetsu remains one of the most intriguing elements yet to be fully explored. Whether Zoro will cross paths with this legendary weapon remains uncertain, but if he does, it could lead to one of the greatest battles in the series, especially if he must face Nusjuro to claim it. In the vast world of One Piece, there are many legendary swords, but none stand above Yoru, the greatest sword ever wielded. This supreme-grade black blade, belonging to Dracula Mihawk, is considered the most powerful sword in existence. With unparalleled cutting power, unmatched durability, and an aura of absolute dominance, Yoru is the epitome of what a sword should be. Yoru is one of the most visually striking swords in the series. It is an enormous, black greatsword that takes the shape of a massive crucifix, symbolizing Mihawk's deadly precision and unrivaled strength. Unlike most swords, which are wielded with one or two hands, Yoru's sheer size and weight suggest that only someone of Mihawk's caliber could use it effectively. Despite its massive size, Mihawk wields Yoru with incredible grace and precision, proving that true mastery comes not from brute force but from absolute control over the weapon. Yoru has demonstrated feats of unbelievable cutting power, making it the ultimate weapon for any swordsman. Some of its most notable moments include cutting a massive warship in half with a single, distant slash during the Battle of Marineford, clashing evenly with Whitebeard's Mirakumo, proving that Yoru is strong enough to withstand supreme-grade weapons wielded by the strongest men in history, fending off multiple attacks from powerful enemies with minimal effort, showing that Mihawk does not even need to exert himself to wield Yoru effectively. Yoru is one of the 12 supreme-grade swords, meaning it was already among the strongest weapons ever created. However, what makes it even more terrifyingly powerful is the fact that it is a black blade. Black blades are an extremely rare phenomenon, achieved only through immense battle experience and mastery of Haki. Mihawk is the only known swordsman in the world to have fully transformed his sword into a black blade, which further solidifies his position as the strongest swordsman alive. With Roronoa Zoro's ambition to surpass Mihawk, it is inevitable that he will have to face Yoru in battle one day. However, for Zoro to truly surpass his master, he must forge his own supreme-grade black blade, possibly by turning Enma or another sword into one. The battle between Zoro and Mihawk is destined to be one of the greatest duels in One Piece history, as it will determine who is truly worthy of being the world's greatest swordsman. Whether Zoro will surpass Yoru's power remains to be seen, but if he succeeds, it will mark the greatest moment in his journey. Both Shodai Kitetsu and Yoru represent two extremes of legendary swordsmanship, one a mysterious and cursed blade, the other a weapon that has reached its ultimate potential. These swords not only hold immense power but also serve as major stepping stones for Zoro's journey. Shodai Kitetsu represents Zoro's future, a sword he may one day acquire to complete the Kitetsu series and possibly turn into his own black blade. Yoru, on the other hand, is the final challenge Zoro must overcome, standing as the greatest sword wielded by the strongest swordsman alive. As One Piece nears its climax, the battle between these legendary swords will shape the future of swordsmanship in the series. Whether Zoro will claim his place as the strongest and whether Shodai Kitetsu will finally be unveiled remain some of the biggest questions yet to be answered. However, one thing is certain: the strongest swords in the world will decide the fate of the greatest warriors to ever live.